name is Richard Van Sickle. I was born in Millersburg, Ohio in 1934, February 3rd, 34. So that makes me 88 years old. I'll be 89 in February.
My name is Lillie Bostic. I'm 82 years old. I worked for for Truex Printing 18 and a half years. Then I had a car lot, Bostic Auto Sales, for 12 years. And then I retired, so.
Hi, I'm Charlene. Nobody calls me Charlene. Charlie Fliger. I was born in Morrow County and drifted over here, and that worked out well. And I am 85 years old, thankfully. My mother was 66, my dad was 59, so I've really outdone them, but they were more talented than I were, so I have to catch up, so I guess.
Well, my name is Weldon Edmondson. Hugh is my middle name, but I go by Pud, P-U-D, not pudding, Pud. So that's what I've been called since I've been knee-high to a grasshopper almost. My brother, for some reason, he couldn't say Weldon, and he was only a couple years old. He was 18 months older than I. And so somehow he picked up this Pud deal, and the doggone thing stuck with me. It's been with me my whole life. I will turn 90 years old this week on Thursday. So that's a long time, and I've been at the church over there ever since the beginning. But anyway, that's a long time to live in this world.
I had 4 girls I raised, and did a good job on that one. I'm proud of them, and they stick by me, so wasn't easy, but I done it.
I didn't finish high school, and then I went to work for a painting contractor, doing painting and decorating for 6 or 7 years. Then we got married, and that's where I met my wife, was on a paint job. She went to school, Big Prairie High School, and they had a fire, and the seniors were going to go on their seniors class trip, but they were cleaning up after the fire to make money to go on their trip. So that's where I met her. 61 years. We were married 61 years. We got married in 1954. We lived in Worcester for a year, and then I got drafted and went to the Army in 1955.
I met Joanne, and we got married. I couldn't help but fall in love with that beautiful gal. She and I hit it off right to start with, and we got married and ended up having 4 kids. I worked at the Pottery for 41 years, and I started there. I worked at the Flexible before I went to the service for a year, and they're supposed to give you your job back when you come back, but I had an opportunity to go to the Pottery and start with this guy in the tool room, which is something I loved, welding and tooling, making tools and all kind of building machinery. We just done everything. But anyway, I was happy with my work there, and I developed some things over there that is still relevant to today. And some of that stuff I'm still making for them over there, even though I'm not hired. I've been out for 20-some years, almost 26 years. After the Pottery, I retired, come home. I set my little business up, and it's just a mini thing. But I got interested in making these crosses, and it just seemed like always something to do, and something I love to do.
I lived in Montgilead for 8 years, and then we moved to Edison. In Edison, I graduated from Edison High School in 1955. Went to work a little red and white grocery store, a little hole-in-the-wall grocery store. And I was 17 years old, but I learned to cut meat, and it was very beneficial in my later life, too. There's one lady who came in, and she had what they call today a lazy eye, and I could never tell what she was looking at in the meat case. I just had to wait till I put my hand out and got close. But I learned a lot. I had a lot of customers that only wanted hamburger when I ground it, because I didn't put all the yucky stuff that goes in the bucket. That when I ground hamburger, I ground it like I was going to eat it. But I learned that. I learned the grocery business, and then he sold out, and there I was. It was not much choice when I graduated. I was either go in the Army, be a stewardess, which I wouldn't have been a good stewardess, and so I went to work in Galleon at a Pico. It was an electronic factory. So I worked there until I met the love of my life, and he rescued me from there. And I just had to learn a little bit of square dancing, and I had him. So then we moved to the farm, and I knew all about the inside of a cow, but I didn't know anything about the outside. So I had to learn when it runs around what you do with it. So I learned that. I've been on the farm. We've been out there 60 years. And it got 2 kids and 5 grandchildren, and it's been a good life.
I went to business college, and I got a degree in drafting, and I went to work for a flexible company in 1962 as a draftsman. I worked there for like about 30 years. I worked my way up to, I was a liaison engineer between the production line and in engineering. I'd done all the troubleshooting on the production line. Then I got transferred down to Delaware. I was down there for 10 years, and I got the job as a service engineer, handle service problems. But it was a good time. Met a lot of people that worked at the Flexi were really good people.
I was in Girl Scouts and attended the MYF at church, and that was always a fun thing. I went to camp, and one day they were having shooting, and they said the shooting instructor didn't show up. So I said, what are they going to do? And this other lady said, well, my dad's here. He can shoot. So they sent this man down to the hunting range to teach 9-year-olds how to shoot a .22 rifle. And I thought, this is not going to happen again. So you have to get certified by 4-H. So I went for 3 days and got certified, and that never happened again. And that was in 1993. And I've been shooting ever since. That's what I do in 4-H now. That and home ec, of course, you expect that. Kids change, grow up. I haven't changed. So they said, hi, hi, Charlie, and I don't know who they are. You taught me to shoot. So I thought, well, that's good. I got a deer. So I thought, well, I can teach anybody to shoot. Absolutely anybody. You just have to listen to what I tell you. But I have a gun safe in my dining room. It doesn't fit my decor, but it handles my guns.
So when you look back with 9 decades of life experience, what is something you didn't realize that mattered, maybe when you were younger, but now as you think about it, you're like, man, that's important?
What I feel is important now is the most important thing that I maybe overlooked was how strong your faith is, and how much that a church should believe and preach Jesus Christ. Sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes it's like current events up there, and you don't get that Christian feeling, that heartfelt feeling, like you do when it comes straight from the Bible and from the experiences of other people.
I thought it was important to keep my house immaculate, and now it's not quite as important as it was then. And I wish I hadn't wasted so much time doing it. I think I'm living my life a little better for Jesus. That is important now. It should have been then, but I guess when you're younger, you don't realize that. And I think that's my most important thing now in life.
Or get a job and do good work. If you do that, people will hire you. I think I started out, I was 16 years old. I worked for a little factory in Millersburg. I worked there for about 5 or 6 years.
If someone asked you, what really matters? What should I really spend my life on? What would you answer that question?
Don't sweat the small stuff. It's gone in a flash, and what you thought was going to happen didn't happen. It's like you pull out of the driveway and you forget something back in the house. So you go back in the house and get that. Be glad of that, because in front of you was an accident that you would have been right in the middle of. So patience is a lot. I learned patience with Coben. I knew the Lord had a plan for me, but I just had to wait and wait and wait some more. But it did happen, but patience was big. That was big.
When your time on earth comes to its end and people talk about you or think about you, what would you hope that they would think or say?
That I was a good person. I guess I was. I tried to be.
When I leave this earth, it's really probably not important, but it is to me that people love me and care for me and respect me. And I think that hopefully I've earned that in my life. And I would hope that they would just remember, hey, that old Pud was a pretty good guy, so that would be what I'd like to remember, yeah.
There was a lady that I was acquainted with, and I always thought she was pleasant, and she just fit that word pleasant. And I'm not that woman, and I'm not pleasant, but I would hope that you could tolerate me and not be ashamed to be in my presence, and would hope to see me again.
How do you want people to remember you? What do you want them to say about you when they talk about you, when they think about you?
Probably my happiness and my smile.